Alright, welcome to this video. We're gonna take a look at Windows Server 2016, where we're gonna go through installation of the server and a few things. So this is gonna be fun. So what we're gonna use here is VMware as a virtual tool. We are also gonna take a look at Hyper-V, but not in this video. I will make a video to go through the same process in Hyper-V as well when it comes to the installation and network configuration. But we're gonna mainly work with VMware software for now. So we're going to install Windows Server 2016, which is the latest version. We're going to configuring the network adapters, add some, and configure them the way we want them with the IP range we want. We're also going to take a snapshot of our computer and take several snapshot throughout, so we can just go back to the state we were and play as much as we want to with the server without having to install it over again. Also, we're gonna add hard drives, so we can use some tools like RAID and create RAID and add performance. So we're going to go through that, all of that in this video. Installing VMware tools, and I'm going to explain a little bit more what that is later on. And I'm going to set up a shared folder so you can access files and folders on your host. Alright, so I'm going to put this right there, and here we have VMware Workstation 12 as the Pro version, evaluation, and I have this from a school, but you don't need the Pro version. You can just use the Workstation or the player, Hyper-V VMware player. It works as well. So what we want to do is create a new virtual machine, and you want to create it with custom advanced because we want to select what we're going to use. We want to use the latest Fusion 8. This is the compatible, what is compatible with. If you're running Fusion ESXi server or something like that, you may want to go down to something that is backward compatible. The latest is not compatible with, but it's compatible with ESXi server, but it's the latest, I think. Click next. We do not want to install the virtual machine right away. We could. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to Microsoft and download the ISO file. That's what we're gonna use, and we're gonna mount that ISO file to our host computer and link that to our VM machine. So click install the OS later. Microsoft, Windows. We're gonna go down and select Windows Server 16. Next, you can name it whatever you want. I want to name it Server 16, and also DC1 for domain controller. Browse. I don't like to use I have a small disk, so I'm going to use another hard drive that is bigger for this job. as I have an SSD disk that isn't too big. Also, I'm going to create a new folder named the same. Click OK. Next. Next. You want to have BIOS and not EFI. I have several cores, but I have 8 cores, but I want to use, you don't need to use more than ones. You want to have 4 gigs of RAM on a server, because some features in Windows Server requires a lot of RAM and memory, so you want to have 4 GB of that. For now, let's let it use network address translation. Click next. SCSI, we can use SCSI, recommended. Create new virtual disk. 60. You don't need that. You can get away with 40, but well, let's use at least 50 gigs. All right. The hard drive, customers, hardware, sound card. Well, I don't really need that, so I'm gonna remove the sound card out of detect. Yeah. Alright, what we want to do afterwards, we're gonna use a DVD. You could link it to the ISO file, it's okay, but in Windows Server 16, the trial 180 days edition, there are some problems when you try that. You run into some key problem. You have to provide the key, and we don't have key. We are just going to use the trial version for now. Otherwise, you have to pay for it. So click close and click finish, and there you have it. Now what we want to do, we want to, for my part, I'm gonna create a hard drive where I'm gonna link it to my virtual machine. Let's see, raw file. This is probably the Windows Server. Yeah. So anyway, as you can see, I have too much space on my SSD, 111 gigs. But I have mounted, if you have Windows 10, you can just right click at the ISO file and click mount. I use Daemon Tools to do that and mount that on this virtual hard drive there, CD-ROM. Go here and select, I guess it is H, so it's not updated for some reason. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and close that and open it up again, and hopefully it has the H file. Alright, click OK and start the virtual machine. We're gonna use data center evaluation desktop experience. This is important because if you choose non-desktop experience, you will get command prompt, PowerShell basically, and it works, but it's not what you want to do. You can, it's called Nano Server, I believe. Look that up. We will go through that later as well. Do custom installation. Always do that to check what drives you're gonna install on. Click next. You don't need to click new. and it will do that for you automatically. So this is going to take some time. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. What I'm going to use in all my labs is password with a dot, just for simplicity. What you want to do, you don't want to use that in real life, but nor do you want to use it if you are connected to the external network. That's why you have to be careful with the network setup, so you don't get access, let them get access to the computer from the outside. It doesn't matter too much if your virtual machine gets hacked. Well, it's just a virtual machine, so it doesn't matter. But you have to be careful with the network because you can listen on the traffic. A shortcut for getting into a virtual machine is Control, Alt, and Insert. We can go to Preferences and Hotkeys. I have clicked on Alt, Windows key, and Control to release the virtual machine and get into the host. But let's see. Okay, it doesn't tell, but you can use, instead of clicking send Control Alt Delete, you can do that without. If you're doing Control Alt Delete now, your host is gonna respond, right? Here it tells me VMware Workstation detected Control Alt Delete was typed inside the virtual machine. Even when a virtual machine has control of the keyboard and mouse, control is possessed by both the virtual machine and the host operating system. So you want to use, if you want to only the virtual machine to react, you want to use Control, Alt, or whatever you have set up here, and insert, and you will get the same result without invoking your host. So password dot, right? Let's log into that. But as you can see here now, the window is very small, and we might change that to the correct size, or we might not. It depends on the driver, but yes, we can keep changes. I have this is my host or my screen resolution. So there you go. Sometimes you might need to install the VMware tools. You're gonna see a lot of red here. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to be worried about right now. But what we're gonna do now is, after we change the screen resolution, just don't do anything. Click on this icon here. We're gonna take a snapshot. Fresh install. Oh. During you can do a description and so you know what the snapshot is about and where you did the snapshot. So I'm gonna call it like fresh install, and before configuring anything,